a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
The bits, the bits, the bits, the bits, the bits.
Welcome to The Bits, hosted by your favorite jam buds, Charlie.
And Robert,
Ayo, Robert, are you ready to go back?
back to where?
Back to the barn, actually.
Mm,
Are you ready? I'm ready.
I absolutely am, because Back to the Barn is the episode we're looking at today, Season 2, Episode 20 of Steven Universe, which premiered on October 8th, 2015.
Ayo, we're still in our spoopy era.
We're still, listen, it kind of is spoopy. It's like one of those spoopy films where the underlying threat keeps getting built up and everyone's like trying to prepare for it, which is like sort of, hey, it's scary because under the crust of the earth, or like at the earth's core, is a conglomeration of gems who have been fused through horrible genetic experiments who will expand to beyond the size of the earth and as a result explode the earth. Like, that's fucking terrifying.
Now, every time I think about the cluster, I think about that one line from, oh god, what's the song? But it's the song from, like, the Garnet Wedding episode, because, like, Stephen talks about the cluster in that song for a second. I can't. I get Steven Universe songs stuck in my head so often.
You do? What? Why do you get Steven Universe songs stuck in your head?
It's almost like I listen to them a lot. They're my safe space.
Here we are in the future, and it's wrong!
Wrong!
So let's begin. Before we do, hey, Charles,
Hey, Ribbert.
did the postman leave us any post?
No. Postman didn't. Jamie, where are you?
Do you want to stop Charlie from crying? For a small donation of $5 a month, you can buy our bonus show, Steven's Room, available on our Patreon, patreon.com/thebitssupod. But also,
What does that
more
have to do with
importantly,
the post?
more importantly, I'm plugging the Patreon, shut up. Also more importantly, if you want to hop in our DMs, you can email us at thebitssupod@gmail.com. You can tell us something you like about Charlie. And if you don't, Charlie will cry next episode.
Wow.
I want fan interaction, and I am not above guilting someone into emailing us, which is maybe the only way I've ever successfully sent out an email, feeling guilty and or pressured.
Oh my goodness. It makes the people feel worse. How dare you?
And if you keep putting it off, Charlie will keep getting sadder. You hear those sniffles, folks? You hear that crying? You could fix that. You can email us about your day, about the Steven Universe episode we're talking about, hey, what you had for dinner, about how was your day at school or at work. Hey, all that stuff you could be telling us. That'll help Charlie
Tell
feel
us
better.
why Peridot is the best one, okay?
Yeah.
Tell us why.
We want a full essay with citations, MLA format. 3 pages long, double spaced, on our desk by Friday. Thank you very much.
Yes. Also, send me any Peridot fan art because I love it.
One could say Paradart.
There was a time when I really wanted to cosplay as human Peridot.
I've seen the human Paradot AU like drawings, and I think it's very cute. I think it's very cute.
The Lapidot human
Yeah.
AUs.
Yeah,
Listen,
no,
I'm obsessed.
I've seen the Lapidot human AUs. It's cute.
Anyway, that's just me being gay for a minute.
You being gay, as opposed to the last episode where I talked about how I'm gonna propose to my boyfriend at some point. Yeah, no.
Gay.
Charlie, how do you ask someone to marry you?
Robert, will you marry me?
Stop. Oh God. Oh my God. Stop that. So the episode Steven
So what you
Universe.
do is you get out a ring pop.
So what happens now is I punch Charlie. So hey, Steven Universe. The episode begins with Peridot explaining what the cluster is to the crystal gems back at the beach house.
Tell me this is not beautiful. Like, another great cosplay for Steven Universe would be this cluster box.
All you need is to draw the Earth on a cardboard box and you like put a hole through it while you're wearing a little red sock in your hand. That's like the cheapest cosplay I can think of.
It's amazing. Like, there's the Earth, and then she's like, Steven, turn. And then there's a diagram of the cluster on the next side, and then he goes back to the Earth, and then he's like, roar, and he explodes the Earth with a little sock puppet. She's like, that's not what the cluster looks like. Yeah, but oh well. What are you using as a pointer? You're using a freaking spatula. Like,
That's a fly swatter.
that is a fly swatter. You're right. We're using whatever the heck we have here today, okay?
You've heard it here first, folks. Charlie cooks with a fly swatter.
It's a cartoon. I can't tell what the fuck these things are.
Charlie, what's the last thing you cooked for yourself?
I cooked some soup for myself, actually, in the microwave.
Oh, fuck. I would not mind some soup right now. Soup sounds good.
Yeah, because I'm sick. Did I mention that?
You mentioned in the last episode, but our audience doesn't listen to these episodes all at once. They listen to them on a weekly basis. So as far as the audience is concerned, you've been sick for a week. And as far as we're concerned, you've been sick for the past like hour that we've been recording both episodes.
Wow, I can't believe you're destroying the illusion of the podcast.
Time's an illusion. We only believe in it because space exists. And we're like, hey, if space exists, time also exists.
See, this is why I posed the question to the Deus Ex Media server. If humans stop existing, we who measure time stop existing, does time still happen?
Yes.
I propose no, because time does not exist.
It still does, because just because we're not around to experience it doesn't mean it's not happening. That's literally the expansion of the universe. Oh boy. Right now, at some point, the 14th Doctor and Donna are chilling at the edge of the universe.
Here we are in the universe.
Here we are in the universe, and it's wrong. Pearl begins to explain the parameters of the machine they would need to build. Peridot interrupts her and steals her idea.
Yes.
Peridot starts looking around the house for parts they can use, and she starts destroying, like, you know, hey, rip Steven's microwave. Hey, rip Steven's TV. And
This is like the third TV, at least.
How many TVs have been destroyed? Because I remember there's at least Steven throwing his shield destroyed one. Peridot just destroyed one.
Steven Universe TV Wiki. Let's see. This is not helpful whatsoever. Google, do you have an answer? At least 4 times.
So we're at least the second time that I remember, at least.
Oh man, I didn't even remember. I think it happened in the pilot too.
The
Gemglow.
pilot, I don't think the pilot counts.
I don't know. Okay, wait. Here's the trivia on the Steven Universe Fandom Wiki. Gemglow, Steven the Swordfighter, The Message, Rose's Room, Back to the Barn. So this is the 5th time that it has been broken.
How does that math make sense? Wait, well, I mean,
1,
I guess that's
2,
incorrect.
3, 4, 5. This is the 5th episode that it's been in, that it's been broken, and it's gonna break 2 more times in Know Your Future and Reunited.
Yeah, here's the thing about TV is that people, a bunch of people who like observe this kind of shit pointed out to me. You know how our parents were able to afford like houses and apartments just like on a fucking McDonald's salary, metaphorically speaking, of course. And you know how you and I have to work a lot of hours to afford living in apartments?
Yeah.
It's because like the cost of luxuries went like down proportionally to the amount you make, while the amount of necessities went up. So, hey, way back when our parents were like our age, you know, hey, they make $1,000 a month or whatever. Rent is $300. Okay, hey, that's already 30%. A TV is like $800. What the fuck? Why am I going to work almost a whole month or whatever, or multiple months maybe even, to buy a TV when I could just pay my rent? And nowadays the reverse happens, where it's like, hey, you work for a month and you might get like $2,000 or whatever. I'm just roughly, and like, hey, you can't really get an apartment for anything less than $1,000, and it'll be a shitty apartment, but you can't really do that anymore. Hey, that's half your money being spent on rent, but you know what? You can buy a little shitty TV that'll work for like $100. That's 10% of your salary, as opposed to like 80% 30 years ago or whatever. And that is why people are poor. that's not the main reason. There's a bunch of reasons why. And also, hey, greedy billionaires, fuck billionaires.
Fuck capitalism, eat the rich. Thank you and good night.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, Peridot destroys a bunch of appliances. Poor all of Steven's appliances. He's like, can we do something that doesn't involve destroying the house, please? Please and thank you. I also wanted to say, okay, the way that like Peridot steals Pearl's idea and like a bunch of the things in this episode, it's like their whole dynamic, it's reminding me of like privileged men in the workplace versus like, you know, women trying to like say anything ever. And that's just like Peridot is somehow the privileged man in this situation, and Pearl is like just the average woman trying to say anything.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
A little bit, yes, but I mean, hey, that's just how it be sometimes. In
That's
in society, even though like morally it shouldn't happen, logistically I guess it happens where it's like, hey, there is a totem pole and some people are considered by society to be more important. It's wrong. I want to say off the bat it's fucking wrong, but that's just what happens in the society.
yeah, it's the gem hierarchy is like so interesting, and this is like the first real taste that we get of it in this episode, I think,
Yeah.
because we haven't had other gems to interact with like interpersonally other than, you know, just like punching each other in the face.
Yeah.
Now we're actually having a conversation between two gems from Homeworlds, and it's like, okay, so Pearl is all the way at the bottom of the entire hierarchy. Peridot's like middle management, maybe a little bit lower,
Yeah.
but she's maybe a supervisor.
So she's a supervisor, Pearl's essentially an unpaid intern, and the and the diamonds are like the CEOs.
Oh, I was gonna say Pearl is just straight up a slave, actually.
Unpaid intern, same thing.
You're not wrong. But she's not getting paid in experience. That's the only difference. Yeah. So anytime that like Pearl tries to mention anything, Peridot is shooting her down.
Yeah, she's just like, you're just a pearl. And yeah, she like quickly explains like, oh yeah, pearls on Homeworld, they're amongst hundreds of other pearls. They're all made just for the purpose of taking orders. The second Peridot was like, oh yeah, there's hundreds of other pearls, I was just thinking about that scene from Toy Story 2 where Buzz is surrounded, like goes into the Buzz aisle.
Meme. Here's a meme to make, Robert.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there is the Buzz aisle meme. I forgot about that. God, there are so many memes these
so
days.
many memes.
I'm slowly fearing the day that a new meme will come out. And like, listen, even memes that I don't quite understand at first takes me a little bit, and I'm like, okay, now I get the gist. Now I understand. It took me a while to understand the whole very demure, very mindful meme. Like that was a thing that did not.
I still don't get it.
So you say that to be like, you know, hey, this is like a very like, hey, you know, I did not have a panic attack at work today. Very demure, very mindful, something like that. Like that's the general idea.
Okay.
This, I feel older now than I did when I originally didn't understand the meme because I'm trying to explain it to someone else who doesn't understand the meme. It's
You know what? I had some small children try to explain Riz to me today, and I was just like, I mean, I know what that is, but also I feel so old right now.
how old are the fucking kids you talk to? What?
I work with elementary schoolers now.
Oh
I think
God!
this was like a 5th grader.
Oh God! Kill them all! Don't let them multiply out into the world. Just shoot them. Well, don't because they already. Unfortunately, kids already have to deal with that.
I worry about the next generation so much.
Yeah. How many of them know how to read?
I mean, we have reading time, so I hope most of them. I don't actually know how many of them are reading and how many of them are just looking at pictures. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen. There's a bunch of reasons why it happens, but if you look around current things that have happened, you will see that there's a correlation between people who voted for a certain man we don't want to talk about and people who are illiterate, and that means you can't read past the 6th grade level. Now, I do want to step out and be like, hey, it's ableist to just outright be like, oh, all illiterate people are bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. And if you do say that, that's bad. I will say that there are a bunch of nuanced and complex reasons why people may not know how to read past the 6th grade level. Societal and financial reasons already stick out to mind. Boom, boom, like that. However, if you've had the opportunity and you've had the capability,
you have the ability to do it.
Yes.
Like,
and you don't just because you don't want to, I'm gonna look at you a little bit like differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
so
So how do we transition back to Steven Universe?
we're trans.
Yes, we're trans. Okay, let's transition. Transition time! Yay! And okay, we get a little nod to space travel with the cute little chalkboard that either Steven or Pearl drew. It's so cute. It's Steven.
Definitely Steven. It's Steven because Pearl's like, hey, listen, this is a cute drawing. Unfortunately, it won't look like that. Hey, Pearl, remember when you built a semi-functional rocket out of trash and you almost killed Steven?
Yep. Uh-huh. And probably, you know what? She probably would have killed Greg too, as well as herself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, Pearl's like, if we're gonna build this drill, you're gonna have to listen to me. Steven's surprised that there are hundreds of pearls. I do like where Peridot's like, hey, you're a fancy pearl. You must belong to someone. Who do you belong to? And she's like, nobody. And it's like, oh, that's layered.
yeah, it's there's a lot going on here, and Peridot's like, oh, you could belong to me. What would they say back home? A Peridot with a pearl? That's why I'm like, she's a supervisor. Like she's not high on the totem pole at all. She's
No.
useful to the society, but she's not good enough to get a pearl. Like a sapphire could get a pearl. She's nobility.
Yeah.
But not Peridot.
God, hierarchies are fucking weird.
Yeah, it's so much. I've definitely delved into like what it looks like on the Steven Universe wiki at some point and how ridiculous it is. I think the only thing lower than Pearl might be the pebbles, actually.
Maybe.
Maybe
Maybe the rubies, because the rubies are seen as just like disposable.
They're soldiers.
What's arguably that's a fucking nuanced question to ask about a hierarchy in a very bad society. Who's worse off, the soldiers that they don't give a shit about and they deem expendable, or the literal slaves?
It's really hard to tell, right?
Yeah,
you know?
God, I don't know what it is about this podcast and Steven Universe in particular. I'm like, I know what it is that brings out any knowledge in my brain about like, hey, fascism bad.
It's Steven Universe itself. Like when you actually think about anything involving this show for more than 5 seconds, it's like, shit, there's like a lot to unpack here. And Rebecca Sugar and all the other people who worked on this show were really trying to tell a nuanced story about all these things.
To date when this podcast episode was recorded, the most recent book in the Hunger Games series, Sunrise Before the Reaping, just came out, which tells the story of Hamish's game. And
I need to read that one.
You do.
I have not read Songbirds and Snakes, but I care about Hamish a whole lot more.
Hamish, I care about a lot more. I don't give a shit about Snow. Although maybe I kind of should till I get the full picture. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil anything to anyone who hasn't read it, particularly Charlie. That being said, and this is inspiring, I don't know if it's going to come out at this point or not, it's inspired me to make a video about like why I inherently hate prequels, because I think they're mainly cash grabs. And so I tentatively did pick up Sunrise Before the Reaping, being like, okay, listen, Suzanne Collins, I believe in you, but like, is this a cash grab? Like we've seen what happens. Peeta and Katniss watch Hamish's games and Catching Fire. I know the story. And then I read the book and I'm like, oh, I didn't know the story at all. It was worse.
I don't even remember that part of Catching Fire. But then again, I only think I read that book once. So...
yeah, so hey, you're not immune to propaganda. Fascism bad.
It's time to reread The Hunger Games, guys. It's really time.
Hey, reread The Hunger Games, read 1984, read Fahrenheit 451. There's a bunch of books you should be able... Listen, rule of thumb, if it's on the ban list, fucking read it.
Yeah, we promote banned books on this podcast.
We promote the
about
fuck
cartoons.
out of banned books. I love sometimes when this podcast just delves into, hey, fascism bad. And we just like... it's my favorite part about this podcast sometimes. Anyway, Steven Universe.
Well, you know what? Speaking of fascism bad, Pearl is just like, I didn't fight for this world's independence just to be treated like this by a tiny twerp. Like,
yeah.
goddamn.
And to de-escalate it, even though really the only person who's in the wrong is Peridot, just to
Yes.
de-escalate it and to sort of make it into a little, haha, hey guys, you just had your little fascism bad moment of CV Universe. Let's go back to like the quirky little silly stuff. So the Cartoon Network would actually let us put this on the network. What if we had a Robo Olympics?
Yeah. Hey guys, this is the episode about giant mechs.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that Peridot doesn't know what a robot is, so they have to quickly explain to her like, "Oh, it's like your Robonoids," and she's like, "Oh, I can build that easily. It's like a Robonoids but giant." And so within the span of like what 5 minutes, Pearl and Peridot build fully functional mechs.
And Peridot's been holding the screwdriver wrong this whole time, and yet she's still able to build a pretty cool robot.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah. So Pearl builds a tall, agile robot, and Peridot builds a bulky, little, powerful mech. He's just a little guy. That is Ray right there.
That is okay. Who made the best robot? We have to vote it right now. Okay, whose is the best
Oh,
one?
I mean, listen, I grew up a little boy at some point. Little boy me is like, haha, look at fucking gremlin with chompy chomps, hee hee haha. So that part of my brain's just be like Peridot.
I am partial to Pearl's interesting design. Listen, it's super cute.
Mm.
Also, the way that they're both shaped just like their heads. Tell me it's not the best part of it.
The way that
Tell
they're
me.
both shaped is just incredible to me.
But it's Pearl's has like a traffic cone on the front of it to be like Pearl's nose. Okay? Okay?
I'm just gonna crop this real quick and then put it in the bits and just tag Ray.
It's a little guy.
Oh God, why the fuck did all the pixels just pixel out? Jesus.
No more pixels. None for you. So we're gonna start the Robo Olympics, as Steven dubs it.
The
And they
first
do,
annual, even though it is the only one that happens.
you don't know what they do after this episode. Maybe they continue this. It would be so cute, actually. Where's my fanfiction where Pearl and Peridot start this as a yearly competition where they keep trying to make better robots? Okay? Somebody, if you've made this or you've seen it, send it to me. Send it my way.
Send us Steven Universe fanfic. Why not?
Send us Steven Universe fanfic. We will cover it someday. It could happen.
I asked because it'll already be well past, and I don't know. I think I committed to it. My April Fool's Day video this year was my April Fool's Day joke was I'm pretending to be Percy Jackson while I read terrible Percy Jackson fanfic.
Oh, so you're gonna like react to it as Percy, quote unquote?
Yeah, and so I had fans of the Damien page be like, "Hey, send me the worst Percy Jackson fanfic." Charlie, it's bad. Charlie, it's fucking bad. Charlie, it's
Oh my.
terrible.
Oh, I'm so glad. I can't wait for
This
this.
is, by the way, I made a rule being like, don't send me smut, and still I received terrible fucking fanfic.
Oh, I was gonna say somebody still sent you smut. No, okay.
Oh yeah, somebody still sent me smut, but also a lot of the non-smut was also pretty fucking terrible.
I'm also just noticing the transitions in this episode
This
as
episode's
well.
trans?
This episode is trans. Listen, we have like transitional whatever animation, and it looks like the things from oh god, the video camera that Greg and Rose were using. Those cute little animations. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
uh
fun. So after the end of a lengthy montage of the robots competing with each other, there's a lot of stuff. I especially love the one where they're like, "Okay, we're gonna throw a thing," huh! And they both throw it very far, and Steven's like, "Yeah, you both get a point."
I like the one where the tree wins, and also the one that's subjective because they had to draw art.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
it's
listen,
great.
even through all that, it's a tie. So Steven's like, "Hey, well, it's a tie. You're both heads of the Gem Drill project." However, Peridot's like, "Yeah, no, fuck that. I demand a tiebreaker." Pearl's like, "Listen, it's a tie. It's whatever. We'll listen. We'll just work together." Peridot is like, "Yeah, no, fuck you. You're beneath me." And so Pearl and Peridot get into a mech fight, which I'm surprised it took them this long to get into.
Yeah, was this not supposed to be the whole premise of the episode was just like a mech fight, right? Come
The
on.
Mech Olympics.
Yeah, I will say mech fight wise, Paradox is kind of beefier.
Yeah. So
So,
that's why it inherently wins. However, Pearl does get an actual punch off on Peridot, like physically, and it was great, even though she still lost. It's symbolic. I rank this third in mech fights in cartoons. You know what my top two are?
Yeah, what's your top two?
In second place, the Rugrats versus that one French guy when they are in the Reptar mech,
Yes,
and the French guy's in the
Reptar.
snail mech. And then first place goes to when Perry the Platypus and Dr. D were in mechs, and Dr. D was in a mech of a dragon, and he was in the mouth of the dragon. So he's like, haha, Perry the Platypus, I am in a dragon. I can control fire. And then he activates the fire and it like burns the crap out of him.
Yes, yes, and he was fighting a what was it, like Queen Elizabeth I or something
Something like
like
that. Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And for some reason, she was so badass.
Yeah, it's great. So
Ah,
they so Peridot confronts Pearl afterwards and she's like, listen, hey, you know, you're a knowledgeable technician for Pearl. And it's like, you didn't have to say that. You could have just ended the fucking sentence at you're a knowledgeable technician.
yeah, I love how, like, Pearl gets hurt and, like, everyone's like, Pearl, are you okay? Like, you did so great and all of this. And then Peridot's like, where's my praise? Like, come on, guys. I'm the cool one here. I beat them. Like, what? Huh? Huh?
No praise for you, Peridot.
No, like, that's sore winner? That's a sore winner, man.
That's a sore winner as
We don't
fuck.
do that shit here.
So yeah, and then Peridot confronts Pearl and, you know, kind of apologizes, not really, just like, hey, you know your shit for a Pearl. Let's work on this together. And she's still holding the drill upside down, and Pearl's like, here's how you hold it right side up. And Peridot's like, hey, those round things on your robot, they're useful. And Pearl's like, you mean wheels?
Yeah.
And the episode ends with Steven just happy that they're working together. And he's like, well, together we'll defeat the cluster. And he brings up his little hand stock. He's like, no, you won't. I'm too powerful. And then the iris closes on them. And I'm like, oh, that's scary.
Yeah, a little terrifying to think about. The cluster will kill them all.
Do we think that's just him subconsciously being like, oh, yeah, if we don't destroy the cluster, we're all going to die?
I think that's him being a goofy little guy. I think, you know?
I'm often a goofy little guy about the things that are scaring the shit out of me. And one of the things that would be scaring the shit out of me in this situation would be, hey, the planet's going to explode.
You know, that could very well be it. But hey, Robert.
Hey, Charles.
Should we go to the Crystal Temple?
For some Crystal Temple trivia?
This is the first episode of what the writers unofficially named the Barn Arc.
The Bark. Peridot reveals that on Homeworld there are copious amounts of pearls produced to be ordered around and used as servants and status symbols. This reveals that each gem has a different role in gem society determined by their gemstone when they're created. This is further supported by the fact that Peridot also briefly referred to herself as a Peridot. This was previously hinted in Friendship, as Pearl says that she is just a pearl and denotes her worthlessness. This is further reflected through Peridot's bossy and instructive dialect towards her. In The Return, Jasper calls Pearl a lost and defective pearl, showing Pearl's supposedly disobedient nature. This also explains why Pearl likes doing chores so much.
I feel like she should dislike doing chores based off of, like, you know, that's what her purpose was, maybe?
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, eventually we see in future, it's like, okay, sometimes the gems from Homeworld also just like the things that are kind of part of their base programming, just a little bit. It's complicated. Matt Burnett tweeted that he had been waiting for a part of this episode since he began working on Steven Universe, which he would later stated to be the robot fight between Pearl and Peridot.
Everyone on the Steven Universe team is a bunch of fucking anime nerds, I swear to God. Though not directly stated, Homeworld gems may be familiar with the metric system. Peridot uses gigapascals as a unit of measurement of pressure. However, the given temperature value of 9800 is probably intended to be in Fahrenheit degrees, since both 9800 Kelvin and 9800 Celsius are much hotter than the Earth's inner core, and 9800 Fahrenheit happens to convert closely to its actual temperature of 5700 Kelvin or 5400 Celsius.
That was so many maths. Now for cultural references, this episode as a whole is a huge nod towards the people piloting giant robots genre. I love that genre. In which the robots are often called mechs or mecha. Notable examples include the Gundam and Evangelion anime franchises, as well as the Mech Warrior video game franchise. This is further highlighted by Steven's comment, "Stop! Giant robots shouldn't fight," which is highly ironic, since in most, if not all, cases of this trope, the giant robots are used to either fight each other or giant monsters.
The title of this episode is similar to Nickelodeon's animated series, Back at the Barnyard.
which is what Google thought that I was searching for when I tried searching for the name of this episode. Oh my goodness. Amethyst posed for the painting contest resembles the one Rose DeWitter. Why is her full fucking name on here? Rose from Titanic. It's the you know, paint me like one of your French girls pose. I'm not gonna say her full fucking name. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Pearl's robot design and concept likely reference the two-wheel automobile robots from the manga/anime series Rideback. This is also supported by the series protagonist being a retired ballet dancer that used the Rideback robots to perform ballet-like moves, which matches Pearl's ballet dancer theme and her robot's introductory dance.
Love it. Peridot's robot flailing Pearl around this. I love this. I thought this was a reference. Highly resembles the Hulk and Loki's comedically one-sided fight in the MCU film The Avengers. It could also be a reference to the scene with Doodle Bob slams Squidward on the ground back and forth in the SpongeBob SquarePants episode Frankendoodle. Right? This is what it is. I was thinking about Hulk and Loki
Puny
so
God.
much.
Pearl performs a super Inazuma kick from Gunbuster on Peridot during their fight. Also, her flying kick attempt may be a reference to the Rider Kick finisher from the Kamen Rider Tokusatsu series. The way Peridot catches the kick with her robot claw resembles the method many opponents use to stop Pikachu's Iron Tail move in Pokemon. Oh yeah, that's that's a thing that happens a lot.
In Pokemon, and it says a show that once aired on Cartoon Network. Oh my god. At least 3 references to past Cartoon Network shows are made. Peridot's pronunciation of robot as robot is possibly a reference to the show Whatever Happened to Robot Jones. In addition to her robot's rocket-firing butt cheeks are a reference to a scene from the first episode of both Evil Con Carn and Grim and Evil. Robot Olympics are also another past reference to the Cartoon Network show Robot Boy.
These are all great shows that I remember loving when I was a kid.
Was My Life as a Teenage Robot, was that Cartoon Network?
That was Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never
The
mind.
way Peridot holds her drill upside down with her pinky finger on the trigger resembles how Death the Kid wields his pistols in Soul Eater.
When Peridot yells, "Praise me! Praise me!" it could be a reference to Gurr from Nickelodeon's Invader Zim. In the episode Gurr Goes Crazy and Stuff, Gurr throws a police car through the house. Once he does so, he says, "I have captured the enemy for meat testing. Praise me! Praise me!"
When a bruised Peridot asks why the gems are complimenting Pearl instead of her, Garnet says, "Welcome to Earth." This may be a reference to Independence Day, where Stephen Hiller says the same line after punching an alien invader in the face. And now for Charlie's favorite section.
Continuity? The barn from Space Race reappears. Steven's drawing references Universe and Universe's Universal Space Travel HQ from the same episode.
Did we make Ubu jokes or this episode? I forgot.
I feel like we did, but I actually don't remember.
It sounds like something we do. Pearl wears the same spacesuit from Space Race.
Remember that spacesuit? Remember it has the pink diamond? Anyway, pink diamond. When the gems are heading back to the barn to clean up after Pearl and Peridot's battle, Amethyst asked Pearl to wrestle with her sometime, a reference to Tiger Millionaire. This suggests that Purple Puma is still active on the Beach City underground wrestling scene. In Tiger Philanthropist, this is confirmed to be true.
The same scene change effect from Line 3 straight to video on Greg's video camera appeared at the beginning of the robot games.
Inside the barn, there are pieces of the spaceship from Space Race.
Garnet's line to Peridot, "Welcome to Earth," is the same line Rose Quartz gave her in the answer.
Peridot's line when trying to get Pearl to leave, "That will be all," followed by her hands clapping, is later seen with Holly Blue and Yellow Diamond in Gem Heist and "That will be all."
Oh my gosh.
That will be all. I love it when Pearl says it. It's my favorite fucking part of that episode.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh,
I love when Pearl gets to stick it to these assholes.
We love it.
All right, who are we giving our Pearl points to for this one, bro?
Pearl for fighting fascism.
Yeah, I think it just goes to Pearl automatically.
Yeah.
But I wanna also give half a Pearl point to the cluster hand puppet, because that's a little
I
guy.
can get behind that. So half a point for Pearl, half a point for the hand cluster for the cluster hand puppet.
Good shit.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. I'll do that too. Half a point for each. That's my vibe. I usually give points to the little guy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but like
That's my bit.
exactly. Listen, I'm stealing your bit, actually.
Damn,
Haha.
you stole my bits. Hey, you know what? I'll trade you. My new bit is now fascism bad.
I think that should be all of our bit, actually.
I think it should be. And if you listen to this podcast and you think to yourself, fascism's okay, leave.
And so for the question, why is fascism bad?
Oh God. Okay, so what you should do to get listen, if you don't know shit about fascism, if you don't know shit about fighting the oligarchy that's forming currently, what you should do is read books. That is your main tool. You should read books. You should really look at the ban list that they're trying to post through Project 2025 and be like, oh, fuck all these books. Read them. Read as many as you can. If you can't read because you have physical disabilities that prevent you, perhaps consider audiobooks. Audiobooks, very good. If you have something that prevents you from both, I wish I could provide you with helpful information of how to acquire information in that scenario, but I don't know because I've never experienced either or being unable to. So yeah, that's CFI fascism. Read books.
Should we do a different question?
I like that question. I mean, if I can inspire even one, I think there's like a bunch of like teenagers who listen to this podcast, which why the fuck you're listening to this podcast, but also, hey, I respect it. Fuck the man.
Yeah.
Read books that your English teacher tells. Go to your fucking English teacher and ask them to recommend to you like 10 books about fighting the oligarchies or whatever, if they're cool, if you live in a good state or if you live in a good country. If you don't and you're like, maybe I don't really trust them, I don't know. Every English teacher I've ever had has been fucking cool and would absolutely have given me 10 recommendations for books about fighting fascism.
English teachers by law should be good. If they are not, what the fuck are we doing?
Why are you here? So yeah, fascism bad, fight it by reading books. That's like the base of it. Once you read books and you understand why fascism bad, then you can proceed on to other actions like protests or boycotts or getting more informed on the news. Fascism bad.
That was like the theme of like my freshman year of high school English class, was just like fight the power, fascism bad. We read The Hunger Games. That's when we read The Hunger Games, was my freshman year of high school. So that was like the theme for the year.
Yeah. So yeah, fight fascism. Because fuck fascism. All right. Now that we have left you wonderful viewers, listeners, with that information, which you will take and you will use it to learn, right? Correct. Fantastic. I think this is maybe the first time I can't say if every podcast were perfect, we wouldn't have the bits, because I think we have reached perfection. We have reached fight fascism. It can't get more perfect than that.
Okay, Robert, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit. I'm gonna give us a silly question so that we can end this podcast on happy fun times. If you had to build a robot, what would your mech look like?
It would be a big, bulky fucking thing. It'd be a big, bulky fucking thing with 4 arms. Why 4 arms? Because that's my favorite alien from Ben 10. So I would just make 4 arms, but it's a fucking mech. This feels like such a 180 from, hey, fascism bad, here's how to fight it, to I would make a 4 arms mech. What's your mech, Charlie?
Mine is I'm gonna steal mine from Spy Kids 3D Game Over, actually. It's gonna be the one that Junie was fighting in, that like it looks just like his body, but like it's not. I want different controls for how it works, but I thought that was so badass when I saw that as a kid.
Yeah. Oh my god, that
I don't want it like when it falls over for me to fall over. That not great, but otherwise that was super cool.
Yeah.
So giant mech's cool.
We have now re-earned the ability to end this silly podcast on a silly note. Sillily. So thank you for that, Charlie. Because if every podcast were perfect,
we wouldn't have the bits.
Bye. Fight fascism.
Fight fascism.
You can follow this podcast's socials at thebitssupod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send a message to our Diamond Line through thebitssupod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at our Patreon, patreon.com/thebitsu. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about Steven Universe, or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Steven's Room, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll be talking about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with Steven in some way. No promises.
You can check out our merch store, The Bits SU, on Redbubble to find custom designs made by yours truly. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or even letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. It really helps. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Robert, at The Damn Meme Page on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky. If you want to have more from me, check out my YouTube channel, also called The Damn Meme Page, where I make videos mainly about Percy Jackson, but also sometimes other fun stuff. The Bits is proud to be part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like Super Scary, a love letter to superheroes, sci-fi, and horror movies hosted by Josh.
Do you love to be super scared? Do you enjoy listening to hilarious hot takes on timeless classics? Well, fear not, listeners. I'm here. Welcome to the Super Scary Podcast, where we cover everything from the supernatural to the superpowered. I'm your host, Josh, a scaredy cat nerd who enjoys superhero, sci-fi, and horror movies way too much. Whether I'm processing my trauma from Texas Chainsaw Massacre or reminiscing on the nostalgia of Hocus Pocus, my guest and I have a hilarious time going through our favorite and sometimes not so favorite moments. I'm your friend till the end, listeners, because everyone's entitled to one super scary podcast. We post weekly episodes on Mondays, and you can find us at Super Scary Podcast on all the socials. See you in the afterlife, listeners.
Deus Ex Media.